All right. Welcome everybody to the Gamingbrew channel, where we love and play all things Dungeons and Dragons. Tonight is Rise of Harlock campaign episode 8. A couple quick announcements before we get going. The first is this Thursday is a DM stream, Thursday at 7. We've been doing some map making, getting ready for a new campaign that will start at the end of the month. New campaign, pretty excited for, is a pirate themed campaign with the group waking up on a pirate ship. And then this Saturday is a birthday stream, and it is Dying Embers episode 4. And Dying Embers, the group has waken up in the plane of fire after being tricked by a Rakshasa. So we'll see how they get out of the plane of fire. Also, the Warlord is released. That's available for a free download. You can download it now in the vault down below. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Please subscribe. We upload 2 videos a week, and we're hoping to start uploading 3 videos a week here in the future. But it's time to play tonight's game of Rise of Harlock. Alright, ghosty ones. Last episode, the 5 of you were squaring off against Ziegler, the were-rat. You were able to talk her down and broker a truce in exchange for some information and her help overthrowing the Sanguis overlords in Novovasi, and maybe even as far as Harlock and Resmeran. Ziegler has agreed to stop spreading the blight and assisting the party. You made your way back to Novovasi after having some discussions by campfire of different backstory details. But then you made your way into Novovasi and to the Howling Hound, and we pick up as you guys have made it to the Howling Hound and have sat down for a drink. So when you walked into the Howling Hound, it was pretty crowded. This is early evening, mid-evening. Giles has his feet up at the table, has a very smug look on his face. And as you guys walked in, he gave you an acknowledging nod. Some of the other cronies or lackeys or just bar patrons are in the bar. Arvin Wester is running around serving drinks. The bar is live with laughter, drinks, and conversation. The 5 of you made your way to your normal nook in the corner. So, ghosty ones, what would you all like to do?
Darn good question.
If you want to just like rest for the evening and start the next day, Silvia, you'd have enough time to run out and buy some studded leather if you just wanted to do that and then kind of move on a day.
I would do that, yeah.
So once you all get to the inn, relax, maybe order some drinks from Harvin, Silvia takes off into Novovasi. And she's gone for a couple hours as she finds a local blacksmith and purchases some studded leather. While she's making her purchase, is there anything that the 4 of you would like to talk about or do?
So what is our plan?
It is a fantastic question.
I know.
I suppose we're...
I know Silvia wanted to check out the keep, which I still don't think is necessarily the best idea right now, but we should definitely at least look for some sort of other allies. And I don't know if this would be a great idea, but maybe later I might have a plan to deal with Giles if you guys are intent on that. Just a thought, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Giles will be on our side yet or not. He seems to be pretty smug, but depending on how deep his roots run in the city, he might be an asset. That's something we might need to have Silvia discuss with him. But I do agree with the allies. We need more people.
Either way, if we're to get rid of whatever is taking hold of this city. Well, or at least these evil sanguis. We will need friends.
We'll need strong allies, and we'll need the people as well. I think maybe looking at that issue in some farmlands might help get the people on our side. But definitely, we should check out the rest of the city. I think Silas might be the only one that's been here and actually knows what's going on in this city, aside from this one tavern.
As you say that, Silas gets up and walks out.
Sanguis do what Sanguis do.
Maybe this is all stuff we can discuss maybe later tonight or tomorrow. Right, little buddy?
That's okay, Yuska.
It's great.
Well, for now, let's relax. We've all earned it. Have a drink or two, and we'll pick up.
For the 4 vials, you have to find someone special for RP. But selling the flail and the scimitar is pretty easy. Get 42 gold for the 2 of them. But it would seem that most sanguis, when you show them the vials, they're almost repulsed by it and they stay away. A couple of them give you dirty looks when you try to sell it to them. But they're very cold and just kind of brush you off. Yuska,
Yes, little buddy?
do you want to go out and look at the stars?
Yeah, let's go do that.
She hops on your shoulder.
And I'll head out to find a half-decent spot, preferably nearby. And at some point, I want to burn 3 charges on the wand to apologize to Nuala on
Okay.
behalf of Eek. And kind of update her on us figuring out on the blight and all of that, just whatever I can fit into ascending.
Okay. She says, so you did 3 sendings, and she repeats her phrases. So some of her phrases get cut off. Like she'll say a sentence, and then she'll accidentally start to repeat the sentence, and it gets cut halfway through. But she tells you that after she was sent away, she traveled a little bit closer towards the Bremai Timbers, where she put down another small section of blight herself. Much smaller than the 2 that you found, the one by the laboratory and the one where the den was, where you killed the were-rats. And it was also infected by wolves. But that she was closer to the Bremai Timbers now, making a camp for herself. And she hopes that she did not offend Ikanik, and that you guys can one day work together to protect. She would say protect what Theriel wishes her.
Okay. The only thing I'll tell Eek of anything that she's telling me is, I don't think Zilri is the only cause of whatever this blight is. It sounds like there may be other pockets. I don't know.
You know what's best, Yuska. She's kicking her feet, looking up.
Well, I don't know about that, little buddy, but certainly we'll try.
So while Yuska sneaks outside, Silas has sold his flail and scimitar and is kind of having a hard time selling his vials. Silvia has bartered with a blacksmith. Lucan, Giles stands up and walks over to you as you're alone in the bar. And he kind of sits in a way that blocks your path and has a smirk on his face. He sits down.
Eldritch Blast.
Did you scare your friends away, Lucan?
No, I don't think that was me. You actually caught me in a perfect time. I was just about to leave. I Anything I can help you with?
I have a question for you.
Well, I'm sure with Resmir Light, I will be able to answer that truthfully.
I'm
Ask away.
concerned that we got off on the wrong foot, and I don't want your companion, the one with the pointy daggers, and that sense of superiority. I don't want her view of me to rub off on the rest of you.
Don't worry about that. As nice as Silvia can be, she seems to be a little aggressive at times. She likes to stab things, so anything she says is said with a grain of salt, I imagine. So don't worry about that. I'm more so just curious about how well you're doing now that you've taken over Baron's job. You seem to be enjoying yourself, at least.
It's funny when one finds himself in a position of power without ever tasting just how sweet it can be. It's overwhelming at first, and I'm still in the early stages, but just seeing someone walk in and actually respect who I am is a good feeling.
I can imagine what that felt like. I used to feel that back home in my church. You're talking about your power, though. How big is this operation with Baron? I didn't hear much of it. Silvia left most of the details out, as she seems to do.
He opens his mouth to speak, and then you see him kind of stop, and he looks up like he heard something.
Are you right there, Giles? You seem distracted.
No, I'm sorry. I'm fine. It's Baron was a great man, well respected. He was in his position for quite some time, and he earned the respect of not only people in Novavasi, but throughout the Nevermore Expanse. I know that you, or at least you perceive to be the most level-headed of the five of you. The most.
We can both thank Resmir for that. That I can assure you.
So you are a man of Resmir, and you've come to the darkest place in the world. Do you really believe his light can pierce this veil?
It's taking its time, but I'm already seeing its effects. Some of my companions are starting to hear angels. Unfortunately, I haven't, but if that's not Resmir's law, I don't know what is. Why do you ask?
I think we want the same thing, but we have different means of trying to complete it. And I, for one, am not a religious man, but I am not opposed to the good things that come with a religion full of light, and this place is in much need of law.
We can both agree with that.
I just thought I would offer my aid where I can, as long as our goals are in the same or aligned, but
What do you think my goals are, Giles?
I think you want to spread your religion while pushing back the darkness that is the Sanguis race.
That is a roundabout way of saying it, but yes, that is one of my plans.
Do you have further goals?
I'm sure I do, I just don't know them yet. Resmir only lets me know what needs to be known.
I feel the same way about my position. I am also spoken to, such as yourself, although the one who speaks to me is not a god. He is just a being who wishes for the same thing that you do.
There's another source of power wishing to spread Resmir's light and law across the land. That seems surprising.
I don't know if he is much concerned with Resmir, but he is concerned with pushing back the Sanguis and Harlock and his never-ending fountain of greed. But the issue is this person likes to remain quiet and silent because his appearance of who he is on the outside does not reflect who he is inside, and it drives those away who may help.
Interesting.
There's a rebellion
Well-
brewing, Lucan.
Do tell me more.
We
I would
hear
not mind to be a part of that.
the Howling Hound is but the front line of this rebellion. And I am, even though I've new to this power, Baron was also in this position where we are recruiters, we are scouts, we keep tabs on what the Sanguis are doing inside Novavasi and report back. There are many of us in the mountains. Although it is difficult to assault a place like this with the backing that it does, and even though the Sanguis are evil, cold people, they are powerful people, and they have much at their disposal when needed. So think of me as the tip of the spear here. I can lead you to greater things and better things. Adjusts himself a bit, and then he looks up again.
Giles, I'd like to make this clear. I'm not here in the Nevermore for power or fame. I don't even want to kill all of the Sanguis. I want to enlighten them, and I want to spread Resmir's will as he wishes. Your resistance sounds interesting, and I'm not against it, but I don't plan to kill every single bloodsucker. Just the ones that are in power.
It is very honorable, and I hope that you are able to do what you want to do. As if you are able to do this, it would both affect our lives here and the human lives, and basically any life that's not a Sanguis. I would caution you, maybe go stick your head in one of the other ends, the Sanguis ends, and see what they do to our people. Maybe it will rally you to help our cause, even if it's only for the short term. I just know that if I would come to anyone else in your group, they would turn me away, but I thought someone religious like yourself would be at least open to the idea.
Well, I'm definitely open to it, but if this leader of yours is as important as they say, I'd like to meet them, or at least talk to them. I don't join causes blindly.
He stands up and he nods. Moonlover donated $20. Thanks, Moonlover, for the $20 tip. That's amazing. Appreciate it very much. Let's get some love for Moonlover in the chat. Appreciate that, Moonlover. So Giles gives you a very friendly nod, and he stands up and he walks back to the bar, back to his seat.
Okay. After waiting for a couple moments, Lucan will leave the tavern. He wants to explore the human parts of the city. Not like in-depth explore, but wants to just walk the streets and see how the city feels.
Sure. All right. So at this time in Novavasi, a couple things are happening. One is Silas and Silvia, you guys have both finished your shaving chips at this time. So wherever you guys want to go next, you could. Yuska and Ikanik, you both are outside. I figured kind of close to the stables, where Vincent the ox is, looking up at the stars. Look at you would see Eek and Yuska at the stables, but I mean it's easy to get by them without them noticing you if you want to. You can go a different route to go through the human parts of the city. It is dusk now. It's been a couple hours, so the sun is setting, but
Okay. Yeah, I'll go the opposite way. Not because I want to stay away from them more, so I don't want to talk if I don't have to. I just want to walk. Once I'm at enough distance away, I'll light my lantern with my cantrip, and then just walk the main cities, the main roads, not crossing the river towards the Sanguis side.
okay. Silvia and Silas, you guys will be walking up. He's walking the opposite direction of you guys. But you probably would.
So where are we roughly right now?
You would be on the. You'd have crossed the bridge into the Sangua side.
Okay.
All the trade district stuff is right around here by 10 and 9. Yusuke's playing seeds, always out and about, dropping some seeds. Outside right now, it is a clearish sky, as in there's still a cover of fog because it's Nevermore Expanse, but there's no rain, there is no precipitation. As you were walking back, and because it's night, the amount of guards increases a little bit. So there are Sanguis guards on both sides of the town. Silvia and Silas, the guards, don't really pay you much mind. They have their plate armor, their spears, because spears are the best weapon ever made. Shawnee told me that spears were stupid for guards. So they're walking around with their extravagant spears. Lucan, as you make your way into the city, there's a couple directions you could go. If you go south along the road, you're going into more farmlands, very small wooden shacks and hovels. It's a very poor district. If you'd go north, you're going more into the human trade district, especially when you get to the mid-crossroads. There are human blacksmith shops, human alchemist shops, and the likes. They're just they don't offer as much wear-wise as the Sanguis population has, but at this time of day too, most of the humans, if they're not going towards the Weary Sailor at number 17 to drink, they keep to themselves, or they make sure they stay inside when it's dark out. So for most of your walk, besides the pack of 2 guards that they always stay in twos when they patrol the streets, it's a very quiet night in the human district.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably head northwards, and eventually, I would imagine when I see the crowd heading towards number 17, I'll probably enter.
Okay.
And just sit there in a corner and just kind of like see the different. I'm trying to compare the differences between like my hometown and how like people west of the Nevermore act and talk inside the towns and stuff like that compared to here.
Sure. So when you get closer to number 17, it is by docks. You can see the docks, and there are some very small rickety ships that are on the docks, and some sailors are walking back. Looks like they have caught a decent sized catch for them for the day, and they're making their way to the inn. The inn, the lights are on. You can hear drinking and the clanging of pots and pans and dishware. But when you step inside and you step past the sign that says the Weary Sailor, pushing through the wooden doors, it's a very somber looking inn. It's very small. There's a couple chairs, a couple tables, a single bar. There's a human woman that's behind the bar. She looks to be mid-50s, maybe 60s. And then when you step in and get a little closer, you realize that she's not that old. She just has the wear and tear of a hard life on her face. So she's just seen a lot. The crow feet from stress is pretty visible. Besides her, there's a couple guys, mainly sailors, in the bar in the inn. They sip from bowls. They have large tankards in front of them. They give very quick small talk, but for the most part they keep to themselves and they eat. But she greets you as you come in if you want to order, or you could just slink past and sit.
I'll probably just order a drink, and then slink past afterward that, and then sit down.
She says,
and then go ahead.
Ale's 1 copper. She hands you a very watered down ale.
Good enough, I suppose. I have a copper, so I'll hand that over. And then I want to just eavesdrop into the inn, and see if anyone's talking about anything interesting that we can use to try and like sway opinions or anything like that.
Okay. Give me a perception or investigation, your choice. 17. And how long do you want to stay here and listen?
Probably for like an hour or so. Just because I will eventually want to sleep in an actual bed.
Okay. So Lucan is eavesdropping. Around this time, Silas and Silvia, you guys would have seen each other both crossing the bridge to go towards the Howling Hound. If there's anything that you
Actually, I
want to do.
think I would probably have wanted to wander towards Oklahoma as well.
Going this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Sylvia's going to try to follow me.
Do you guys want to go together? How did my bot get a tier description?
It's the only. It's one of the few in the
That's
chat
fine.
list that doesn't have sub. That's fine.
Resrick give to 3 subs. Erenel bot, my bot, yay. Alidako and Aylin. Congrats on getting those subs and those emotes. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You said that I saw Lucan as he was leaving, right? The Howling Hound?
You would see... Well, if you want to do it this way, coming down, you would see Silas going towards 11 and 12. If you want to catch him.
No, sorry. I thought you said earlier that when I was going back that I saw Lucan. Did I hear that correctly?
I can't remember.
That's okay. Never mind then. I'm just gonna go back to Howling Hound then.
Do you want to track him? Do you want to try to follow him?
I was if I saw him, but if I didn't see him, then I'm not gonna follow him.
Make a perception check. $17. You weren't being stealthy, were you? Or were you trying to kind of sneak out?
No, I was just walking. I have nothing to be sneaky about.
There's barely any foot traffic for humans at this time, so I think at 17 you might have caught something that looks like your companion. If you want to,
Okay.
if you want to try to follow him.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and follow him, but just like stay outside of the inn, like in the shadows, and see. And I would only go in if I heard like a fight or like a ruckus or something.
Okay. So he's kind of like just making sure you're okay. He's watching you.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I know Silas can handle his own. That's why I didn't follow him.
Wow, thanks.
Well, I don't know him as
I'll
well
let
as I
you
know
know I have the
Silas.
same amount of HP as he does. I can handle my own.
Yeah, but I don't know Lucan as well as Silas. That and Silas is also sanguis, so he'll be a lot better off in this city.
That is true.
So while Silvia is kind of tailing Lucan, as Lucan's catching up on gossip. Before we jump back to the gossip, Silas, okay. Silas, you're going towards 11 and 12.
I remember at 11 was inn.
Yeah, so 11 is an inn. On the front of it, it says the Tumbling Giant. It's got a picture of a really fat giant falling down a hillside. And then 12 is a stables. Not as extravagant as the stables up by the barracks to the north where the Nevermore steeds are. These are more riding horses, ponies, war horses. And it's weird. There's not a sanguis in this part of town running it. It looks to be an elf. Dark skin. Dark grayish obsidian skin.
Running at the stable.
The stables, yeah. And he's out because the stables is open air, so you can see this elf. White hair, obsidian skin is feeding some of the riding horses in the stables. And at this time of day, in this part of town, it's a little more busier. Mainly sanguis walking the streets. In this area, it's a little more relaxed. This is like a middle class sanguis area. So some of them are spilling out of the Tumbling Giant. They don't look drunk, but because you're a sanguis, you can see they are fed, and they've been fed very well.
Well, just middle class. I'll probably actually go to the stable and talk to the elf and say, how did he end up here?
So the elf... I'm finding his name. I had it written down.
alternate elfers.
The elf's name is Avain. He greets you as Avain. He has a very cold greeting to you. Does it matter how I got here? Nothing matters if how I got here. It only matters if I can leave.
Why can't you leave?
Because your kind won't let me. At least I've made myself useful and I won't be taken to slaughter. Do you want to buy a horse or not?
What's the price?
Do you want a riding horse? Do you want a pony? Don't your kind get horses from Harlock himself?
Yes, I have a horse. What else have companions? What is the price of a riding?
So a riding horse. 75 gold pieces.
Well, I will keep that in mind.
He's visibly uncomfortable as he's talking to you.
At that, I'll probably keep walking down towards the house.
Okay.
If there's anything going on down there. But
You cut off for me at the end there.
if there's anything going on down at the docks.
So you're going like this way?
Yeah, down that way.
Okay. So you're walking towards warehouses. As you're walking towards the warehouses, Yuska spends a small amount of time doing the healers thing. So are you just kind of healing people at the inn, or what are you thinking?
Just probably wander a little bit.
Same.
Not knowing what the rest of the party is doing, I'm not going to venture too far from... Well, me and Eek aren't going to venture too far from the inn.
Okay. So stepping out this time, the streets are almost bare, except for some sanguis that are walking around. My vein. I didn't even think of that. It's funny. So the streets are pretty bare. Some sanguis walk past you, and you're pretty used to it now, but whenever someone sees you from out here, they kind of give you a second glance for being a huge bear compared to the place you are, but because so many people now are hiding in their homes, as you walk the streets, it's just it's very quiet, very dark. It's almost like they're purposely being quiet inside their houses, not wanting to draw attention to themselves.
Oh, this place is so weird.
I don't like it. I want to go back home, Yuska.
Me too, little buddy. Me too. But we have work to do up here. Important work, I think.
Well, we should do it fast.
I would very much like that.
Are we trying to save everyone?
I'm mostly concerned with the blighted nature and just the weird creatures and all the unnatural things we've seen up here. I don't know. I haven't had any visions of what I'm supposed to be doing up here in a while. So I can only assume that what we're currently trying to do is what we should be doing.
Do you think we should go back and capture Zillery so she can't do anything? Because I don't trust her. And if she doesn't die, then my good friend won't die. And we can take him with us. And we can keep her in a cage. And everything will be okay. You have to save Virgil.
Well, I'm pretty sure we will have to fight Zilri at some point. But, I don't know what's going to happen, little buddy.
Do you know anyone that we can ask for help to save Virgil? That maybe knows how to free him? Do you think your friends in the forest will know how to free him?
Well, if you're talking about the ethereal druids, they won't help us. And I don't know of any other druids here, but I'm certain if we were to find a circle somewhere, there might be someone who could help us.
Then my new mission is to find a druid besides my Yuska.
I suppose next time I find myself in the trance, I could maybe ask some fey creatures.
That is a excellent idea. I would come with you, but I don't know how to get to the trance. I mean,
One of these
I
days
know how
I'll-
to, but I just don't want to.
It can be a very intimidating place. But don't worry, little buddy. If you want, you can come with me next time.
She like kind of puffs her chest out and while she's on top of your shoulders. Give me a perception check because you're pretty perceptive.
No.
The concern of getting to the trance and finding a druid overtakes you. It's just dark out.
But my passive's 21.
At the same time, Silas is approaching the docks, and you might have had a chance to kind of see him across the water, but the docks is pretty bare this time of day. Not much is going on. 14 and 15 are mainly warehouses. Doesn't seem to be much guard presence here. The warehouses look to be abandoned.
Oh, they're abandoned?
Mm-hmm. Well, from first glance, they don't seem. There's no lights inside. It's quiet. It's very dark. There's no ships at the dock here. At least there's no ships right now.
Okay. So can I see down to 13 to see if there's any lights or anything going on right now?
So walking down the way towards 13, there is you see the glow of what you assume is a fire. As you get closer, the fire gets bigger and bigger. It's a huge bonfire. The bonfire is a ways from the tree. It illuminates the tree, and hanging from the tree now are 3 more bodies hanging from nooses with bags over their head, struggling. And around them, again, there's a procession of people in black robes with hoods over their heads.
It's the same as before when I watched.
Yeah, as you watch the bodies kick and they flutter and then they stop. And once they stop, the procession gets closer, moves them, starts to take them inside the stone chapel.
What time of day is it, or time is it right now, roughly?
It's getting pretty late now. It's pushing around 10 o'clock.
Is there any way I could kind of just follow the last people in the door?
You try to join the procession as they walk into the church?
Yeah.
So in front of you there are 10 people in black robes. The first 3 carry the bodies, and they appear to be the largest of this 10, from what you can make out height-wise.
Mm-hmm.
As you start to walk closer, there's 2 large stone doors, and on these stone doors are nooses that are made that come up. Like there's the noose, and then the rope goes higher, and then on the noose are these small little spikes all the way around the noose. And as you get closer to the door, there are 2 robed figures on each side of the door that looks like they are the ones holding the door open. And as you go to step in, 2 spears hidden from the rope stick out, and they cross in front of you. State your business.
I'm curious.
Do you wish to accept the one true Lord, Elturel? Do you wish to pronounce the so-called want-to-be deity? Follow the true deity.
Who's the wannabe deity?
They look around. One of them removes his hood. He's another dark elf. Obsidian skin, white hair. Looks around at the true elf. Harlock.
I don't want Harlock.
So you want to follow Elturel with us? Become one of the hangmen?
Like I said, I'm curious.
No one is allowed entry until they hang from the great tree.
So has Ashley hung from the tree?
We have all hang from the tree. For if you were to step past this entranceway here, and he points down to the stone slab in front of you that leads into the chapel. And as you look past, you can see rows and rows of pewters, and they're all lined up. And the 3 bodies have been placed on 3 long stone table slabs at the head of the church. And then in the far corner from your vantage point, you can see a large statue of the fallen elf himself. He's an elf, but he has like a very lich-like skeletal appearance, and he wears a thorn crown across his head. If you were to step past this entryway without hanging from the tree and being chosen, he will administer his will on you, and you will be deemed too weak for service. But if you wish to partake from the ritual, we can discuss. And you can join us, brother.
Possible.
Then you will come back here tomorrow night at dusk, before the sun is set. And you will hang with the other brothers.
How many elves are there?
That is for when you have been able to step past the entryway. You are not submitting, but we bow to no one. See, freedom is an illusion designed to keep the weak asleep. Only service to Elturel elevates us to a holy state. Come tomorrow night at dusk, and you will be elevated, if you are deemed worthy.
Right, at that point I'd probably just turn around right now and probably head back towards the inn.
As they start to close the door, you can hear some of the beginning of the chant. It is the same chant that I have as a handout that you heard when you were on session 1 when you were in the church. That was written on the wall.
Okay.
That same, yeah. So as you walk away, Lucan inside, spending some time now, just trying to listen in. So in this inn, it's difficult, but you rolled pretty high. No one really speaks much inside the Weary Sailor. It's a very depressed and very difficult place to be. There is talk that the new tax will be coming within weeks, and those chosen will have to give themselves to the Sanguis people and march to Rasmaran to have their self strained And you hear people kind of speaking of how they're going to take precautions to not be chosen. Some talk of wanting to show themselves as being really weak, so as like not to be deemed worthy. Others talk about, no, if you do that, they'll think you're easy pickings, but you need to be strong. There's kind of many arguments, low-breathed arguments of ways to avoid this. Others are talking of, maybe I should just go out and protect my family and find a way to end some of their lives before I go. They're talking of trying to fashion some kind of weapons that they can hide on themselves for when they march to Razmaran. They can try to pick off some of the guards when it's easier to pick them off. And there's some very quick speak of, maybe we can attack one of the processions on the way to Razmaran and then hide out in the woods before the butcher comes on his flying bats and hunts them down. Maybe there's a way to avoid the butcher.
That was a procession to where, sorry?
To Razmaran, the capital city.
Okay.
So it sounds like if they escape, that they send the butcher after them. The butcher's like a patrolling army of Sangos that rides large bats that patrol the Nevermore Expanse, hunting for people trying to escape.
That sounds terrifying. All right.
There's also talk of something that you guys found on the board, but the Hollow Men have been attacking some of the farms to the west. And one person says, when they speak of Hollow Men, he says, they're not Hollow Men. They're ghouls and ghasts, looking to feed on the flesh of others.
Interesting. Okay. I guess once after that hour or so, I'll decide to head back. I'm assuming it's too late that most shops, like blacksmiths and whatnot, their forges would be off.
Yeah, at this time, everyone's pretty much went to sleep. However, give me a perception. And then, Silvia, give me a stealth with advantage. Okay, yeah, you're not going to see him. 19, yeah. You don't see him out there in the shadows, kind of watching you as you walk out of the inn.
Yeah. I'll take that as being on the way back towards the Howling Hounds. As much as I have my lantern lit to guide the way, I have my book out and I'm reading some lovely hymns of Rezmir.
Nice.
And I just follow behind him.
Okay. So as you guys make your way back into the Howling Hound, Luke and Yusuke and Eek, you guys are in there. Or Silas, Eek, and Yusuke, you guys are in there. Luke and you would walk in as they're already there. And then Silvia, you would come in behind Lucan. However you wish to come in.
About 5 minutes later.
Okay. But now, getting closer to 11 o'clock, almost midnight. There are still a couple people in the inn, Giles and a couple others. But for the most part, it's filed out from what it used to be earlier. The 5 of you are reunited in your favorite nook. So if there's anything you want to talk about, if not, let me know when you guys want to take your long rest and we'll jump to the next day.
Sylvia,
Yes.
these taxes of, I imagine, are people being rounded up and sold to the nobility. How often do those happen? How big are they as well?
Would I know that?
Yeah.
Once a quarter. And depends on how many people, or depends on the population size.
So Novavasi's tax will be coming soon then?
Yes, it should be within the coming weeks.
I know this might be pushing our operation that we don't even have planned into overdrive, but I would like to have this city under our control before that happens. Chances are we can use this tax as a way to get the people on our side. Join us and you won't be taken from the city. I think it's a good starting point.
One second, I'm gonna ask DM something.
You would know that the population is, they take 1% too of the population.
Oh, okay.
1% of the human population.
I'll tell Lucan that, and would there be more guards? Would I know if there would be more guards in the city at that?
Yeah, it gets, the operation is pretty big. It's like a movement. Resmaron sends out, make sure I have the name correct. But they're basically these very, so it's called the Vita Calling, and they're tax collectors. These Vita Calling guys have a procession of armed guards and transport caravans, and the armed guards are people exactly like Silas. They're Nevermore Knights. They all come together into the city. They hold the processions. They round up the humans, and then they make their way back. And then one is dispatched to every city under the Nephistrad Kingdom. So it's like a large military force that comes in.
Well,
Okay.
if they hit like Silas does, I think we can take them.
Yeah, I'll tell Lucan all that stuff. Would I also know how early they get here before the tax actually gets?
It's pretty quick. It's like almost a day, and then they do it and then they leave. So it happens really fast.
Well, if that's what you want to do, Lucan, we have to. The latest we can do this is a day before they show up, a day or two before they show up, because there will be a lot more guards in this city.
You would also know that they would have, you would see signs pop up all over the place when they're about to come. It has a date when it gets really close to it happening.
Okay.
If possible, I'd like to do it days in advance. I would like to have the city in a defensible position when they come. I know that's asking for a lot, but if this only happens 4 times a year or so, that this is a perfect time to get the people on our side.
I agree. The only thing is the timeline. We'd have to work really fast.
It might be doable. As much as I know we've sided with Zillery for the time being, if the Sightless Seer is a part of the Resistance, perhaps we can contact him. Get the Resistance on our side. Obviously, that depends on what they want to do.
Should be of note that you might also be chosen if you're in the city and not a Sanguis person. That could be Eek, Yuska, or Lucan.
I like to see them try.
Well, maybe Giles and his rebellion is planning something. Maybe we can talk to him, see if they're planning anything for before then.
It's possible, but knowing how long the Nevermore Expanse has been around, I doubt Giles and his new position have anything ready for the next couple weeks.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask, and we can also ask for his support for when it does happen. He can get his word out.
Well, perhaps he can talk to his group that goes deeper down into the Resistance, so we can get assistance.
Yeah, works for me. Somebody else will have to talk to him, though. I tried to kill him last time, so...
I can lead that conversation unless someone else has a better idea for what we should do.
Giles has been watching you guys the whole time too, since you sat down. It's pretty obvious that he is. He's just kind of looking over. But Yuska, you can see it pretty easily. He's not like staring, but he's kind of like looking off to the side and looking away.
Brew, I have a question.
Yeah.
Giles, when he looks up into the sky as though someone's talking to him, is there any level of mannerism similar to Silvia's weirdness, like a couple nights ago when we were in the camp and she was talking to herself?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I can see your character seeing the similarities. Yeah, to the same idea.
Well, before we make any decision with Giles, we have to figure something out first.
What do we got to figure out?
Well, a large group of our group, two of us at least, have been hearing voices.
3.
Eeks, no,
She puts her hand up.
3. You were one of those two.
Oh.
I can assure you that. I don't count myself. I know where my voices that I don't hear come from. They come from Resmir.
Yuska hears voices. She looks at
There's
Yuska.
3, I suppose.
On occasion.
Silas hears voices. She hears me speak.
All right, so this conversation has taken a little bit of a turn. Who wanted to talk about Eek was you are obviously being spoken to by Rezimir's own, but I think there's someone else at this table who doesn't wish to say so, has been speaking to somebody else. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
It's you! And she points at Echo. You ugly cat!
Eyes staring.
Ah!
No, it is not Echo.
He kind of looks down and she starts to look conspicuous at everyone. Who is it, Lucan?
I'll glare at him after Eek says that.
I don't want to out them just yet. I will let them have the privilege of explaining themselves, but I'd like to let them know that I've started to catch on to them. And an explanation at some point in the future would be appreciated.
There's a voice in Sylvia's head. Claim your birthright. Accept who you are and they will follow. Oh yeah, you would, Yuska. Because you are highly perceptive. That huge number.
I'm not gonna say anything back. I'm just gonna.
Alright, well, perhaps I was wrong then. We'll see about that. Well, I brought the table up to a very big high, and there's no drop-off. Does anyone else have anything else they wish to talk about? Since apparently must be insane. And I'm gonna give a little glance at Silvia, so anyone looking at me will see that I'm looking at her. Head.
Well, I can't say that I'm very good with plans themselves, but we should definitely have a list of who we're going to talk to and what we're going to do. If our plan is to, I guess, take over the city within the next couple of weeks, we definitely need to at least start making that happen very soon. So we have to be mindful of the time that we have.
Can you send a message to Zilri and tell her to start preparing?
Not
What is she
today,
preparing?
but in the next couple days I can.
Okay, that sounds good. As long as she's ready for when we need her to be here with her army.
Well, hopefully she has enough were-rats left. We'll need them.
Hopefully. We should also mention to her to not let them fight anybody.
That
But
would be
I-
appreciated.
I do have to ask. You, Silvia, and you, Silas, you're both sanguis. Would there not also be others like-minded to you that would also be allies?
Perhaps.
Most likely, but they would be hard to find. We found each other by chance.
Unless you want to hang.
Yes.
Silas, you want to hang from a tree?
I don't think it would be that difficult to find others of a similar mindset. Perhaps not as openly.
Especially being Novavasi, we're not as close to the capital. I'm sure if anyone did not agree with Harlock's ways, they'd be here. So we can find someone to talk to the Sanguis population. I myself will talk to the humans. Perhaps Sylvia and I, and maybe even the whole group, could talk to Giles. We also need to talk to the Sightless Seer. As much as Zilri and this Beholder aren't on the same side.
When you talk to the humans, I'll go with you. Maybe a little touch of Amara's healing embrace will help persuade them.
Anything that will sway them. They'll be hesitant at first. Change is big. Not to mention that's their fear of worse things happening if this fails.
Well, even if this Harlock or whoever remains in power, I feel that there's more things in play here. There is more blight out there that's not, from what I can gather, is not directly tied to Zilri. So there is more going on. Perhaps on the further reaches of the forest and such, but there's more dangers out here than just what's in the city.
I don't want to impose, but there are those druids. Perhaps they might have something to do with that. Not saying that all. I mean,
worshippers of Thariel, if they are doing that, I would question if they were druids at all.
well, my only thought is this is the Nevermore Expanse, and they're by the Brimtide, are they not? That seems oddly close to these blighted locations.
Well, if they are the ones spreading the blight, then perhaps if there are true worshippers of Thariel out there, they would be very willing to help us. If it meant to destroy the blight and those causing it. Anything to protect nature and destroy those who would harm it.
Once we take over the city, we can attempt to cure the blight. It's unfortunate that when we... I was going to say, unfortunately, we thought that Zilri was the only cause of this, but we will get back out there.
But yes, once the city has been claimed and we can protect it, then we can absolutely we can deal with that blight before it gets any bigger.
There's a lot of evil here. I hope that we can perhaps heal some of it.
I might be overambitious, but my goal is to heal at least the human parts of it.
Have you noticed, Yuska, if it's gotten any better since we got Zilri to stop?
Well, the reason why I can't send Zilri is I may have already done that with Nuella.
Okay, no problem.
And she has encountered other pockets. But it's hard to glean as much information from a spell that gives so few words.
That's fair. Maybe we could also get Noala to join our cause.
No, never. She can't be trusted. Says Ikanik.
I don't think anybody here can really truly be trusted, little buddy.
You can be trusted, Yuska.
Well, you and I are not from here.
You know who can't be trusted? Echo. She looks over at Echo again.
Ugh.
What has she done to you?
I don't think Rezmir's really one with nature, because that is... It's unnatural, little buddy.
She might look a little off, but she does her job. She protects me and gives Rezmir's the eyes to see. Which is why, again, they are as big as they are.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why he has such big eyes. I'm part bear, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, and like while we're talking, wherever I'm looking, like Echo's eyes like follow like in tune. It's really eerie.
It's like two big headlights looking at Silvia. Just whoosh.
I don't know, little buddy. It freaks me out just a little bit.
A figure walks into the tavern at this time. And he walks in with a very loud, like he just opens the door like he has this self-sense of a porch, just whoosh, and he steps in. He is a Onculin human, which means he's from the scattered wastes. He is from like the deserts. Very dark tan skin, black hair, long black hair. He wears a very well-made robe, a purple robe. Looks to be of fine silks with golden embroidery. He has hundreds of types of jewelry on him, rings, necklaces, earrings, stuff that's encrusted across his robe. And he walks in with a very high posture and a huge smile on his face. And he sits next to Giles. Giles looks up at him, kind of shocked at first, but then he smiles and nods, and then the man sits down. Harvin, a cup of wine, please. And everyone in the bar, rounds on me. And people behind him go, yay. It's very quiet, yay. And you hear Harvin go, okay, Zunar, coming up. And Harvin looks over towards your table, and he kind of points if you guys want an extra round.
I'll gesture. Yes, I do.
I'll gesture no.
Blood? Looking at Silas. Eek, Yuska?
Oh, I guess I could go for another ale.
I'll take ale. And some porridge? Sure. And he starts to run drinks to the tables, and then Harvin approaches your table and drops off 3 ales and a bowl of porridge.
So Harvin, who's the new one there? Offering free drinks. Must have had a great day.
He's a scholar from the Royal College. He is a good man. I would treat him well. He also controls Giles. And he walks away.
Little buddy, I'm gonna go drink at the bar for a couple minutes. Talk to the hound, I think.
Do you want company, or should I stay here?
Perhaps stay here for a moment.
But Echo's gonna look at me. Just to make sure Ikanik not liking Echo is now canon. You hear that, Lore? You don't like Echo no more.
So Yuska's gonna go sit at the bar and just kind of listen.
Okay.
And just drink his drink. Maybe not like that far over, but like over enough where it's not obvious that I'm attempting to listen in.
Okay.
And just kind of speak in Sylvan to the hound. Just like really like small talky things in Sylvan. Nothing
Just you're trying to act like you're talking down, but you're really listening to Giles and Zunar. Yep.
After a couple moments, after Yuska leaves, Lucan will head over to Giles' table with his drink. While I leave, Echo hops off of me and goes onto the table and is like standing like half a foot away from Eek's porridge, is like in between it and
Yeah, well, she covers it and. Silvia.
Yeah.
Stab Echo with your pointy daggers.
I'm not gonna do that.
Silas.
What?
Hit Echo with your sword.
Why?
Cause he's ugly.
He's got big eyes like you.
Ah! She stands up with her porridge and she walks away and sits by herself. So if there's anything that Silvia and Silas want to talk about alone, compared, even though Echo's there. If not, I'm gonna jump to Lucan and Yuska. Is there anything you guys want to do?
I'm good unless Silas has something to talk about.
No, actually, I think I might kind of wander over to Lucan just because I want to hear.
Okay. So as the two of you walk over and you sit down, Zunar, he has a very, he's man spread and like crazy. His legs are like wide open. He's sitting back, and as you get closer, he kind of turns, full man spread. Oh, there's no need to thank me for the drinks, my friends. Just enjoy them together. I'm glad you like them.
No, I would like to thank you. Out of curiosity, Giles, is this your friend you were speaking to me about earlier?
Zunar here is a good friend of mine, yes, but he is not the one I spoke to earlier. Zunar kind of looks over at Giles. His eyes look at him angrily, but his mouth is still wide smiled, like he's having a great time. Just Lucan.
Hi, this is me.
And you are? And he looks over.
I'm Silas.
Don't worry, he might look like it, but he doesn't bite.
Well, I know who you are, Lucan, because Giles here told me all about you, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, and I'll extend my hand.
He takes it and he shakes it. His hand is very smooth, like he has never seen a day's work.
Sounds about right.
You are a man of religion.
I am of the Church of Light and Law, yes. May Resmir protect us both.
I have been, I guess the term is blessed, but I have been able to see many in your stature, being from the Royal College myself, and being under the guise of the Arch-Chancellor in the Krovian Empire. And I also appreciate what Resmir brings to a community, so thank you for being here. And he gives you a bow.
It's nothing too big. It's merely Resmir's word himself has sent me here. This place is much darker than even I thought it would be.
It is a place of darkness, yes. Sorry.
Unfortunately, yes. What are you doing in Nova Vasi, if you don't mind me asking? It's weird to see another not from here.
I am a man of knowledge, and being a man of knowledge, I am a man who must always be on the lookout for more knowledge. The Royal College has been very generous to offer myself as part of the Exploration Guild. We are here as a group, myself and 10 of my brothers, all from the Royal College. We are looking up a strange occurrence that our friend Giles here has pointed us towards.
Is it happening nearby? Me and my companions, we've been doing some exploring. Perhaps we might have ran into something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we have an excavation site in the Raven's Roost Mountains to the west of here. We have put up defenses from a fort, and Giles here has been happy to help us. Although our Captain Costas is still at the fort. I have just come here for supplies and to make sure that Giles is okay and just checking in on the city. He's very loud and his voice echoes.
Talking about Lishkin's Folly?
Yes, yeah, Lishkin's Folly. That's exactly where we are. That is yes.
Haven't been there ourselves, but we've heard much about it.
Well, you are a man of the word. Perhaps you would, I don't know, be interested in what goes on there?
No, it definitely seems interesting.
What do you think, Giles? Giles looks at him. What do you think, Lucan?
Well, I think my biggest concern is the travel itself. I don't know exactly where it is. How far from here is it?
Well, I could take you there with a snap of my fingers. I am Zunar. He is a very Aladdin.
So you have ways in the Arcana, I see.
I have not been blessed with
a figure of speech.
Well, I have not been appointed to a professor of the Royal College yet, but if I make a discovery such as what I am working on, I hope to one day become one of the fine professors of the college. Maybe a wing will be named after Zunar one day. Gives you a big white smile.
Well, I'm sure the college would be quite honored for that when that happens in time. Now, when it comes to heading towards the keep, I'll need to discuss it with the rest of my companions.
Yep.
Is he Slytherin? Or your equivalency of Slytherin?
No.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
There is a Royal College article that breaks down. It's the Royal College in Erenel is a very much Harry Potter college, and there's 4 wings, kind of masked of the 4, Hufflepuff and Slytherin and all that stuff. But he is a very rambunctious, charismatic, on-killing human.
Obvious fucking Hufflepuff.
Giles, what do you think? Was your friend that cannot see, would he appreciate the accompanying party of Lucan and our friend Silas here? I don't see why he would not. Silas, do you know what's in those mountains?
Rock.
You are a very funny man. But yes, there is quite a lot of rock and granite, and trees and grass and shrubbery and water. Maybe I should let Giles speak on this behalf. If you'll excuse me, it would seem my tankard is empty and my legs are sore and I need to stretch them. He stands up. He sits next to Yusko. Arvin, ale, please, or wine, please. And Arvin gets some, starts to pour some wine. Giles leans forward. He is part of the rebellion. Yusko, your ear would pick it up too. Level 21. So is his general, his captain, Costas the elf.
He's whispering that to Zenthar.
Giles whispers to Lucan and Silas.
Oh, okay.
So he works with you then?
He does not work with me, he tells me what to do. There's a chain.
Why do they need Xanar telling you what to do if your friend can speak to you directly?
Sightless Seer does not speak much, only when he needs to.
Well, fair enough. Sounds like another friend of mine that I know. Well, I've been thinking about it, and your offer is definitely interesting. But we'll need to discuss things with the rest of my companions before I can make any concrete decision. Or if concrete doesn't exist in this world, I'd use a different word
Hmm?
here.
Well, I'm going to make my way out of the inn. I will be here tomorrow. I do not want Zunar's gaze to follow me tonight. He stands up.
Understandable.
When he stands, the three people that are still in the inn stand with him. Guile shuts over to Zunar. Zunar, I'm quite tired this evening. I'm going to head to bed. I hope to see you tomorrow if you haven't left yet. And Zunar turns with wine in his hand. Oh, my friend, we are just getting started. Please don't leave. Guile's, no, I need to go. And Guile's and the group leave. Zunar alone now turns to Yuska. Are you my drinking mate for this evening?
Oh, well, sure.
Harvin, leave the bottle and close the shop. And he tosses out 100 gold in a sack. Okay, Zunar. Are you okay, Yuska?
Well, I can't say I'm all that experienced with drinking, but sure.
Well, just please don't trash the place. And Harvin turns to leave and he grabs the hound and the two start to walk out. And they close the shop, and now inside this inn is just the five of you and Zunar, who has now paid for the bar for the rest of the night. He gets up and he walks behind the bar and he pours himself a drink. We will have fun tonight. All of you, raise your glasses. Do you want more?
Another would not hurt.
Sure.
So as he pours rounds for everybody in the bar, as you guys will have a chance to pick Zunar's brain, let's take a quick break before we get too deep into it. So quick break. We're just going to refill our drinks and we'll be back in a couple minutes, guys. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Zunar.
Is that your blankie? Is it your blankie or as? Is that your blankie?
Yeah, one of them. I'm a whore for fleas. It's terrible. Oh, I was confused. Why did Twitch send me an invoice? Gifts.
Because you. I wonder why. You had to get back to number one, didn't you?
Hmm?
You had to get back to number one. Give him 14 subs so the Tyler now.
Yeah. Wait for everyone to get back. Let's go to some full screen.
Ah!
Ah! Ah! I've had Zunar waiting in the wings for a while now. This is why you don't watch Aladdin.
I'll just wait until we meet my new sorcerer.
So what do you think so far, chat? Moonlover with the donation and Resurrected with the 3 subs is awesome. Hope everyone's enjoying it so far. After this the stream, if you want some more of our content, Resurrected ran a pretty sweet one-shot on Saturday. That's up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so let's get how that went.
That's good. I think Raz caught the itch. He's got the DM bug now. As he nods his head in agreement.
Who's running the Thursday game league?
You are.
That's the answer I was looking for.
That means I'm gonna have to put up with you? Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you guys do things and like maybe kill you all. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
What are we doing?
Hey, I've died once already, Raz.
Raz has the DM itch.
That was the dice's fault.
No, it's your fault for not healing me for those 2 hit points.
Sizzy G, thanks for the 4-month subscription. Appreciate it. Get some more of those sweet emotes.
I also didn't prepare healing word because I'm like, surely we're not immediately going to go into a boss fight. Why would that happen? And of course that's what happened, and yeah.
That's funny.
Remember, healers always prep healing spells. Even if you think you don't need them.
Well, that corrosive, like, doubling every time because everyone's like, hey, stab, stab, arrow, arrow. Hey, 4d6. That didn't help.
Almost ready, chat. We're just waiting for everyone to get back, getting their drinks set up. So this new whiskey is actually pretty good. The Matt McConaughey whiskey. It's not bad.
All right.
All right. I
This
was
time
trying.
my dad was making old fashions with just like the buffalo trace I had here. I was like, this is pretty good. Because normally he drinks like Kessler.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. I was driving links before I was paid to drive them.
What pisses me off is this ice fishing commercial. Like, you sit on the fucking ice like a normal person. Don't go back to your damn car.
Well, Z and Shani's dad have a, they got the shack that you drop on the ice. It's pretty cool.
Well, yeah. But
I mean, they're from Minnesota, though. I thought that's like.
when you're born in Minnesota, you're automatically gifted a fishing shack.
Come in, son, here's your fishing shack.
It's not like I'm that terribly far away from them.
That's true. Yeah, you guys both get blasted by that snow.
Yeah, today we got probably 2 to 3 inches by the time I got home that I had the snowblower out for. It was just that heavy wet shit.
Is it like a necessity in Wisconsin and Minnesota to have snowblowers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't had to use my shovel once this year. It's melted before I had to even go out there.
Well, I say, like, my wife went over by Lake Michigan to visit a friend, like an hour and a half over an hour away. And they didn't have any accumulation on the ground, and when she left at like 3 o'clock today. We had at least an inch on the ground here.
Everyone's here. Let's get back into Rise of Harlock.
Kill Zunar.
So, Zunar has just bought out the bar to be closed for the evening, and the drinks are flowing. You can walk behind the bar and order or grab a drink whenever you wish, but we pick up right after Harvin has left. So, my friends, please, don't be shy. You sit at the bar with me. I will pour you drinks I will pour you drinks after you pass out. It is only right.
Yes, I'm not Silas. I can't control him. I'm Lucan. Lucan is gonna head over to the bar.
As will I, but I'll be on the end. Kind of hiding myself from him.
I'm just gonna kind of sit in this chair so I can lean back a little bit and just keep an eye on it.
Oh, we have a brooding contest here between the two on the corners. Which one can be more angry? You?
Yes, don't mind them.
Okay.
They are sanguine, and unfortunately it seems to be bred into them, from what I've learned.
Oh, you need blood then, my friend?
No.
Hmm. You know, we call you kind like you where I come from.
What?
Need to get laid.
I don't know how blood has to deal with that.
Lucan, my friend, why is your cat so ugly?
Echo is not ugly. She's merely different.
Ekenik says that. I told you she is ugly.
No, Ekenik, she's not ugly. She merely needs more sight, that is all. She is Resmir's way of seeing the world around me.
So I'm curious, being a man of knowledge, I just want to absorb as much as I can. So tell me, why are you all in this unholy place? I assume even though you were born here, you could leave if you wanted?
No, I was not born here.
Well,
These two, I imagine, were, though.
a little bit further south, but fairly close, I suppose.
I'm
But,
here to kill Harlock.
You are here to kill Harlock. That is quite a feat, my friend.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm
Nice.
ambitious.
I am interested. And he walks forward. He leans on the bar towards you, on both his elbows. How will you do this?
Hopefully,
Better than the last time.
The last time
better than last time.
you've tried before to kill Harlock,
And I'm only finding out about this now?
and you live. How are you here in front of me after trying to kill the vampire lord? And how are you even knowing of this? And he looks over towards Silas. I don't want to be next to either of you. And he steps back a little bit. You are both crazy.
Well, this is all news to me. I'm just here at the behest of one of the gods of nature.
You see, that is a sensible reason. Trying to kill a wannabe god. But now you must speak the tale.
Do you two not want Harlock to die?
I don't know that he can be killed.
If it
All
bleeds,
things-
it can die.
All things can die.
I believe that he can die. I just don't know if anyone is able to actually sever his life force from his body. I mean, have you seen him when he's angry? He grows wings and rages.
Have you seen him when he was angry?
No.
I've never seen him myself.
I've only read the stories about him being the first to drink the blood from the crimson cup from the Scarlet Walker, the bride of El Turel? But no, I must know, how did you attempt to kill him, and how are you still alive?
I'm still alive because of my friend over there. But I did attempt to kill him. Obviously, I failed.
Did you use dagger? Did you use magic? Did you try to poison? I must know so that I can cross off my list.
It's not so much that what I was using didn't work. It's so much that I was kind of caught in the act.
I see. He is highly protected.
How did you manage to get here? No one's on your tail by the looks of it. That's a feat on its own.
I've managed to hide myself well. Along with the assistance of Silas, of course.
What makes you think this time with us will be different than when you were by yourself?
Because this time, I'm not by myself. And maybe you guys could provide a distraction for me.
I still do not understand how someone could attempt to kill the vampire lord and be alive and breathing in front of me, and how one man... Are you a man? And he looks at Silas. How one white-haired, handsome folk could save you from a lord.
I'm going to... okay. I'm going to say... I'm going to give you something, and you're not going to tell a soul. Not even the people in this room. And I'm going to pass him my signet ring.
Yuska is looking as intently as his little slanty eyes will let him.
Is there
Ring.
do you want to describe the ring? Or are you trying to like hide it until it gets to Zunar?
I'm trying to hide it until it gets to sooner.
Make sleight of hand. With
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Oh boy.
You just met this dude, you're showing him, but you ain't talking to us? How's that work?
What do you mean? I don't know.
I'm doing perception. I want to find out what this shit is. I'm tired of your quietness, Silvia.
Well, Yuska's secret is he's always watching every little thing.
So both your passes are higher than his 10. Give them a little bit of information on what they see on your ring. Because you can mask some of it with your hand, but they'll catch like a little glimpse of... So whatever you think warrants what they might catch a little bit of as you pass it.
I would say that they see like half of the symbol that's embroidered on the ring.
Make an intelligence check, Yuska and Lucan. With disadvantage because you're not from the area. 14.
Yuska's not very intelligent.
7. Okay. I'm going to whisper Yuska.
Wait, you're gonna whisper Yuska but not Lucan?
Yeah.
So do I see it? Do I see him doing this?
Yeah. So it was with disadvantage, so you just got a 14, Lucan had a 7.
Oh, right.
Would I know that symbol? Like, would I recognize that from being in the city at all?
Yeah. Mhm. You don't know if there's denominations of it, but it looks similar to that one.
And I get up and whisper to someone, what do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm putting trust in Zunar here.
Zunar looks at it like he shields it, and he looks at it, and he looks at Hugh. He looks at Silas.
What level of nobility is that, if I can ask?
Is that you asking in person, or is that you asking the DM?
That's me asking like in character. I'm assuming that's some sort of leadership. I've only ever seen rings that bear the symbol of a city to have some sort of leadership.
Do not worry yourself with this.
Well, considering me and my little buddy have essentially allied ourselves to this cause of ridding the city of whatever of the evils that prevails it. I mean, even if it is in our own interest of furthering that into the nature around it, I feel it would be good to know what it is we're dealing with.
Let's just say you're dealing with royalty of the Sanguis line.
Yes.
That is an oddly vague way of explaining that. How royal are you?
Can I see your
I
face?
imagine most Sanguis don't have a ring.
I'm not gonna show him my face. Would he recognize me if I showed him my face?
You might.
Okay, I'm not. That's not gonna change my decision. I just wanted to know.
He's going to slide the ring back to you.
Thank you for my ring back.
And he's like, he's transfixed on you now. He's looking at you. How did Silas prevent your demise? For trying to kill the vampire lord is death on its own, but being someone of your stature trying to kill the vampire lord is treason at the highest state.
There are reasons why I'm still alive and not dead, but I am ashen at the very least. And I'll show him my arm. I'll uncover my arm.
So he starved you for your defiance.
Yes.
And you... Sorry, go ahead.
So you being an Ashen was not your decision then? You lied.
Far from it.
This is why I come to buy goods in the city. And he's gonna walk and he grabs a chair, he grabs it and he sits down. Well, he's gonna walk to the doors and he's gonna lock them. And then he's gonna walk to his seat and sit down. I am interested in the five of you.
Would you undo it if you could?
Being ashen? I'm not sure, to be quite honest.
That's not a very good answer, my friend.
I know it's not.
That's a way of saying I'm not going to answer.
I wouldn't have obviously done it the way it happened to me, but perhaps if circumstances were different, I might have done it myself. You see, even though you don't know who I am, it would never be allowed of me to do this to myself, even if I wanted to.
Why did you try to kill Harlock then? Obviously it had nothing to do with you being Ashen or wanting to save people, since you yourself was a full Sanguis at the time.
Well, let's just say he's a very harsh person.
You wanted to kill Harlock purely because he was harsh. If that's the case, then you should probably have been killed long ago yourself. You're not much smoother, I imagine.
Yes, but it was like a cruel harsh. Like nothing I ever did was good enough, no matter what it was for that. They beat me and abused me. When I couldn't take it anymore, I tried to kill him.
So you and Harlock were close then? That must be some really high nobility. For him to be so cruel to you, that means you must have talked with him quite regularly.
He expected much more of me. He trained me, or got me trained as a skilled assassin to take out the enemies that he has come across.
Your reasons for killing Harlock now, are they as petty as before, or have they changed?
Well, we also need to see an end to his terror, as I'm sure you can see just from being in Novavasi. So that is also a thing.
Is the terror he causes to humans a means to justify an ends, or do you actually care about the people here?
A little bit of both. I don't think people should be treated the way they are. But he also needs to pay for what he has done to me.
So, if you were to kill Harlock, what of your people then?
Will you take the throne instead?
Perhaps. But things would change if I took the throne.
Ah. So now we have come full circle and now we understand. You will kill Harlock to become the next. And you will have aided this Silas. What has he offered, or what has she offered you for her assistance? Will you be a noble to a city?
It's not like that. Instead of humans being forced to pay a tax, I would ask if they would willingly pay for protection.
The great usurper and her trusted bodyguard, starting a rebellion to march across the Nevermore Expanse to kill a god, or someone who sees himself as a god. This is worthy of the Royal College Library. You have piqued my interest. And the three of you are just along for the ride.
Not at this rate, unless a deal can be struck.
So when she ascends and becomes a queen, Rezmir will take a greater presence? Am I to act as an intermediary to a discussions now? I have a rate of this, you know.
And also would be home to more of those who follow the gods of nature and of the trance.
Interesting. The plot thickens. He takes a long drink.
Silvia, if you wish to have my help, which means you have the help of Rezmir himself, if you were to take that throne, you must promise me that any religion that is not Rezmir's church inside the city is gone. Outside those city walls, they are free to believe in nature as well as Yuska does, but inside those walls, anything else will be expunged.
As for right now, I cannot promise that. But I will.
But if you are going for the throne and I am to help you, you need to promise me something.
That doesn't sound like something that I would consider light and good, though. To remove all other religions.
Any other religion in the Nevermore Expanse right now in those city walls, they are not good for their people. We can tell that purely by looking at them. These people live in squalor and they live in fear.
Perhaps those of the below. But some of the trance gods can be extreme in their beliefs, but Amara, Lunawin, they both take care of and nurture their people, and they would be good. Good for those within even the city.
This is a RP bomb.
I will promise you this, Lucan, that the religion of Erenel will lead the city. All the cities.
Besides, if to be so extreme in your beliefs makes you no better than those who follow Therial, at least those who call themselves druids and slaughter people for even stepping foot in his forests.
Me being a member of the church and wanting others to embrace Rezmir's light does not make me the same as a murderer and a killer. I simply want them safe.
Yes,
The religions that are practiced in these cities right now are not safe for their people.
having them forsake their own beliefs in a form of zealotry does not accomplish that.
They simply don't understand. They've never had the chance to see it any other way.
And I might not be the smartest bear, but even those druids amongst my circle have all been very wise, and I would have to say that perhaps you are misguided. Even if it is slight. I won't judge your Rezmir. Because if he truly is from the above, it would be wrong of me to judge Amara's children, as we are all children under her. But still,
I believe that everybody should have their choice of which religion they wish to follow, and removing the choice only makes you just as bad as...
Keep in mind that I follow Light and Law, I follow Rezmir. If it was not for Rezmir, this whole world would have fallen to Elturel. If that is any god to not worship, then is there any other that should? It is Rezmir's roar that changed the world as it is now, and will happen again, but this time inside the Nevermore.
Give Luke an advantage for that lore drop right there. That was some sneaky lore drop.
We will remove Elturel. I will promise you that we will remove Elturel from the Nevermore Expanse, but I cannot promise that we will remove every religion.
Well, then I suppose I cannot guarantee that by the end of this you will be on the throne.
As long as you can guarantee that Harlock will be dead, that's all I care about.
Do you think that just because you kill Harlock, that you hold enough nobility to take the throne yourself? Or do you think others from the other cities in the Nephstrad Kingdom will revolt and come for you once you have done so? Let's say even if you are able to kill the god who is not a god.
I would hope that the other cities would rise up in rebellion, as we are about to do with this one.
Interesting. Some of them may wish to keep the status quo and keep their bellies full of blood from the cattle of myself and our friends here. He looks at Yuska, Luke, and Ikanik. You must offer quite a bit if you wish to persuade the nobles under Harlock's vampiric wing.
I will still offer them blood, but the blood of criminals, not innocents. There are more than enough bandits and marauders that we can siphon.
Back to this discussion of blood. If you aren't willing to make Rezmir's light the only light in this area, then perhaps we can discuss something else. Those who believe in Rezmir's light and law cannot be sucked upon. They are free from the curse of your people.
I can agree to that.
That is a start.
Like I said, there are more than enough bandits and marauders in the Nevermore Expanse. We could start gathering it up and feed on them instead of the innocent.
I do not wish to step in between your... Are you all still a group? Your group discussion here? Or there seems to be many different ideas for the way the Nevermore Expanse will be if you are able to pull off the Herculean feat of killing Harlock. But
This whole...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, we are still very far away from being able to get rid of Harlock, so there will be many discussions between us before we come to a full agreement.
It's going from a half moon to or it's going from a full moon to a half moon, so you're about halfway through the half moon cycle. For Yiska.
He'll risk it.
Okay.
If she's upset, she's upset.
There is... actually, that's a good point. Yeah, because Lunawin, the deity Lunawin, when you pray to her on different moon cycles, her mood changes, depending on what the moon is. It's like she's more receptive when it's full compared to when it's like half. But Zunar says, I believe that I can provide assistance to the 5 of you. And if I see that in the future that you are even a speck of being able to pull off what you wish to do, but the one that I follow wishes for the same. And I will tell you why I'm here, for you have given me some incredible knowledge about yourself, and I feel that for trust to be built, I must also provide something important. So I would ask that you listen very carefully, and if this is something that you wish to pursue, you may do so, and aid me in my assistance. Well, not only myself, but you will also be aiding Costas, my elvish captain, and the sightless here. And know that you'll be going above and beyond what Giles is in the Novovasi, which is a glorified talent seeker. So I am in pursuit of what is called the Wail of the Revenant King, W-A-I-L. Being from the Royal College, I am a learned man. And what I can tell you is, for thousands of years before the Great Sacrifice, the Olothain, aka Dusk Elves, ruled this land under the watchful eyes of El Terrell. This is before the sacrifice happened and El Terrell was flung into the below. The first king of the Olothain was Viscroy the Dawn. The powerful and just warrior King Viscroy would lose his life as a conqueror of the precipice of horror, where he struck down the abominations that emerged with his twin size, known as Whale, protecting his people from that which crept out when the sun set. He fought back the void. It is important to know that the Olothain, the Dusk Elves, do not believe in hereditary leadership. No, it is instead believed that after their death, the king would return as a specter and choose his replacement to ascend to the throne. I know what you're thinking, if only more people in Erenel would do this, maybe we want to have such crybabies on the throne. I digress. Centuries would pass without a word from Viscroy the Dawn. Eventually, another Dusk Elf, Thuril, would journey into Viscroy's tomb and retrieve Whale, discovering that Viscroy's soul was trapped inside Whale. A deal was struck between Thuril and Viscroy, upon which Viscroy's soul would be free as long as Viscroy would choose Thuril to be the new elven king of the Olothain. For 700 years before the Great Sacrifice, Thuril ruled until his death. Upon his death, Thuril was buried in the same tomb alongside Whale, which had consumed his soul upon his death. Decades would pass as the Olothain waited for Thuril to return and choose a new king as a specter. Unfortunately, the Great Sacrifice occurred while Thuril was dead, throwing the world into chaos and the downfall of the Olothain people. The Dusk Elves would disappear, and many of which would turn into the true elves that you know of today. Now Thuril is still trapped inside the Whale. For untold years now, he seeks to escape his fate, forever bound inside this legendary Erenel artifact. He seeks the next chosen one who will hold Wail of the Revenant King. He reaches out in the only way he knows how, hoping to attract those who would seek to maybe free him. The lands surrounding his tomb are haunted by the mindless undead who seek any living being in hopes to communicate and tell them where the tomb is. Now, it just so happened that I am smack dab in the middle with my Lishkin's Folly fort looking for this tomb so that I may find the whale. And that is what I am doing here. Maybe this legendary artifact can help you on your quest to slay Harlock?
Would I know anything about this artifact?
Yeah, maybe. Make a history check.
So you are asking us to help you find these, and in return, you help us?
I am just a scholar. I just wish to find it and document it, but I do not care to wield this legendary weapon. But
I'm gonna insight that.
okay. 19. He is being truthful, but he gives off a very slight, with a 19 because he rolled so high, he gives off a slight tell that he doesn't want to wield it, but he's very much interested in what happens with it.
Okay. That's fitting for scholarly types.
Mhm.
So, okay. I don't find anything off-putting by that.
It is strange. So you are in lands right now that the Dusk Elves once held thousands and thousands of years ago, which have now been consumed by the Sanguis once they took over in power after the great sacrifice. This tomb is deep inside Raven's Roost, and the only ones that can approach it successfully without being attacked are elves. My captain is now making her way trying to locate the tomb, so that once she locates it, we can find it. And what I do and what my people do is we scry upon her and send her messages and try to learn where she is. Now with a 22 history check, you do know something about the whale. So the whale is a two-handed scythe, legendary artifact, which means that legendary artifacts in Erenel, they grow in power with you. So when you find it, it's a regular magic item that has a +1 and it does something. If you do certain things that go with your backstory for whoever claims it, it awakens and it becomes more powerful. And you do more stuff and then it becomes exalted and becomes more powerful. And each time you upgrade it, it gets new powers and it gets extra pluses. So this is like a weapon that someone would use the entire campaign, basically. And you also know that the two-handed scythe, it's a two-handed scythe. It also breaks apart and becomes two God of War-like sickles with a chain that connects them. So you
man, I totally want that now.
you can either scythe it or you can break it apart and double sickle it.
I feel like the Sanguis are going to kill each other for it.
But you don't know what powers that it has, only that it's a legendary weapon.
Legendary weapons, when you attune to them, can no one else attune to it afterwards, or can you hand it off?
You can hand it off. You can pass it.
Cool.
That's cool.
So this is why I'm here, but now I'm interested in also why the five of you are here, and I feel like our paths may be intertwined regardless of what happens for some time.
So you work with the Sightless Seer and its rebellion?
Yes, I am one that is able to communicate personally with the Sightless Seer.
As am I.
I will make a handout of all that information. You are in tune with the Sightless Seer?
Yes.
No, it does not surprise me in the least.
What has he told you?
Kill this person, kill that person. I haven't really listened to him much, though.
That does not sound like the Sightless Seer. Are you sure you're speaking with the correct person? This is the whale.
Does the Sightless Seer know of Zilri?
Yes, she is one, not on my level of the chain, but she is, say, on Guile's terms.
Yeah, the Sightless Seer asked me to kill her. I decided against it.
Why would the Sightless Seer want you to kill? That is confusing to me. Silas here has never asked. He is not a bad person. He is a beholder who is blind, but he is not evil. That does not. I don't understand. I must ask him. You're sure you were speaking with the Silas seer?
I am pretty sure.
Would you like?
Would I know anything about beholders? Probably not.
Make a nature check with disadvantage. 8?
Yeah.
With an 8, they are powerful aberrations. They are very paranoid. You know that sometimes if they die, they can be brought back as husks of themselves. But they have personalities of them. They have personalities like any of your characters would have personalities too.
Okay.
They are very intelligent and very cautious.
He also wanted me to tell my party who I am. I also decided against it.
Well, my friend, after learning who you are by seeing your signet, I may recommend that you do the same. But your party may not look at you the same afterwards if you were to leave this room tonight and not tell them who you really are.
I know. I've been thinking about that.
You may want
Perhaps
to.
I should.
You may want to ask your friend who helped you escape. For he knows who you truly are.
Should I tell them who I am, Silas?
That is your call.
You are no help. Lucan, I will do this for you. To gain your favor and trust as we go through this journey. My name is Silvia von Lishkin. I am the granddaughter of Harlock von Lishkin.
That is much more noble than I had expected. Someone so close to him, and yet you want to kill him. That seems bizarre.
I told you, he is a very, very bad person. I've seen the things that he is capable of. Nobody should ever have that much power.
And how will I know that any of this is not just an elaborate plan to shut down the resistance once and for all?
If I wanted to do that, I would have killed Giles and anybody else assisting him.
By the sounds of it, Giles is barely the tip.
I mean, that's fair. Essentially, I attempted to assassinate him because of the things that he has done to this world, and I was imprisoned and tortured, and that is why I am ashen.
And how is that Silas's fault?
Do you care to tell them, Silas, or shall I?
I'll let you.
Silas was my torturer for a time, until he had a change of heart and decided to free me, and we escaped.
And that change of heart happened after you became ashen and suddenly you work together now? That is still too vague for me to believe.
Well, he saved my life. I don't know what changed his heart, but something did, and because of that I am alive, for who knows what would have happened to me if I stayed.
You Sanguis are even more confusing than humans.
Fascinating.
Well, assuming you're not lying to me and this is not a plan to kill me and my people, I suppose we can work together still.
I have no interest in killing you and your people. Just Harlock and anyone who follows.
Do you think the granddaughter of Harlock von Lischken can rally the people just by her name and by showing what has become of her. Would the people follow this, knowing that you do not drink? Could you stand on a soapbox in the middle of the town square of the humans and say, "You are Silvia von Lischken. You tried to kill Harlock and failed, but now you know the way to kill him"? Would they follow someone like this?
I mean, perhaps.
No, not without proper assurance. That's why you'll need me.
What is this proper assurance? Because this is extremely interesting. I will follow a
Humans
rebellion.
Trust the Sanguis, Ashen or not.
I see.
If they have some assurance that someone else on their side is on their side as well, then maybe they will.
They will
That's why
also.
I think you will need me in Resmir.
They will not follow a were-rat. They will not follow a beholder.
The second I say that, me and my party are dead. For every Sanguis in the city will
Yes.
come after us.
You will need power before you reveal yourself. And you must only reveal yourself to the populace at the time. But a vessel could be very useful. The backing of the Royal College could also be very useful. So he kind of sits back and he strokes his finely groomed beard. You have given me much to think of. I mean, you could even just kill Silvia now and take her body to von Lischken and probably earn land yourselves. Knowing that you've delivered the daughter that betrayed him and escaped, you'd probably earn something quite extravagant, I'd imagine. Not saying that you should kill Silvia by any means, but...
I don't think any of us are here for just land and a name.
Rebellion. Rebellion requires power and people. Side with the Silas here. We have each.
That's why we are here. To overthrow the city and start a rebellion.
Then the 5 of you will come with me to Lischken Folly Fort and speak with the Sightless Seer yourselves. Perhaps help me find this legendary artifact that you can wield. The Whale of the Revenant King, two-handed scythe, or break it into smaller sickles. I imagine the 2 of you will wish to fight over it, and he looks at Silas and Silvia. Just for reference, I have a legendary artifact for each of you. So even if one person gets this one, there are 4 more.
I feel like this one, since it's two-handed or double,
I mean,
Silas then.
it doesn't matter. Like whoever, if you guys choose to chase this one, whoever chases it, there'll be another one. I always make artifacts for each character in the game.
I want Nichols.
How close are you to finding the Whale of the Revenant King?
I can take you to Lischken's Folly in the morning if you wish. Once I've had a rest, we will go by Waygate.
How long does it take to get there?
I will teleport all of you in an instant if you want to go.
That's pretty fast. That way we can keep on Lucan's timeline.
Just know that I will not.
Executing this plan.
I cannot send you back. You have to travel on foot back to Novovasi.
How long would that take?
Let me check. Give you an exact date. It's the fucking tiger again? Blatant. It would be 4-day journey back.
If we get teleported there, not stay for very long and come back, we can still be within Lucan's timeline of wanting to overthrow the city before the next tax.
Perhaps, and perhaps with a bigger army as well. I'm not against it. Right now, it seems like the best course of action.
So what Rizzo and Blair talk about in chat is the Dying Embers game was sent. They got tricked by a Rakshasa into the plane of fire. They get this one of my NPCs tricked them into freeing him, and they sent him to the plane of fire while they're in the middle of a quest. So they gotta escape.
That elf thing, whatever.
Yeah, the tiger with the backwards palms. That is up to you completely. I will never force myself or force anyone into the service of the Silent Seer. Just know that if you speak to him, you are basically saying the yes.
Is there any
Sorry.
chance? Is there any chance that we can work with him instead of in service to him?
As long as you have something to offer him that he is interested in, I'm sure he will bargain. I
That's very good.
am in service of him.
I will present him with the death of Zilri.
I
That seems
still am
correct.
curious as to why he would ask for Zillari's death, but you are more than welcome to speak with him and ask him yourself. It does not sound like the Silas here that I know.
Perhaps he has other plans that you don't know about?
That is quite possible, yes. The thing about working with a beholder such as this is, it feels like he's always many steps ahead of me. He's what I strive to be. Criminal mastermind.
I suppose that's one thing to strive for. If you don't mind me, all this talking has gotten me tired. And I need to think.
Yes, I need to rest myself if I will send you all in the morning, so I will go upstairs and I think I will take the big room.
No.
You rush. Oh. You push past them. Did you lock the door, Silas?
Yep.
You make it.
I like to imagine this huge, like, intense, like, real talk, and then Silas like, nah, it's my bed. Just pushes him onto the side.
I was gonna ask him to identify this red vial that I've been carrying.
As you are walking by, he stops and he looks back over his shoulder. I can do this, yes. I have a couple spells left.
Could you also maybe identify this bag?
Sure. How much have you guys have you all found that you have not discovered?
I'll also ask him to identify the sickle while we're at it.
The bag, the potion, the
That's
sickle.
what I was looking for, the
We're
sickle.
missing?
So he identifies the bag after some time. It is a bag of holding.
We already knew that, but not in character.
Yeah, identifies the potion. This is a potion of poison masked to look as a potion of healing. It is good that you do not drink this.
Fuck, that would have sucked in Mortal Kombat.
And this is a sickle of thorns. If you'll excuse me, I am off to bed. And he walks upstairs after identifying. So it's a +1 sickle. And it can magically cut vegetation in front of you. Which means that if you're passing through like heavy terrain, heavy forest, heavy jungle, you can use the sickle to pass at a normal speed. And if you attack plant creatures, like blight creatures, it does an extra 1d6 slashing damage to that creature, as long as it's plant-based. It does take in a 2-month slot though. Then you have 3 2-month slots per person. So it is also it's a crescent moon, and it gives off the slight. It's not a full image, but you kind of see resemblance to Lunawin, but it's not a full Lunawin item. But it looks like whoever made this sort of made it with her image in mind. So whoever wants to use it, it's a sickle +1, and it does an extra d6 to plant-based creatures.
Don't everyone speak up at once now.
That's up to you guys. I know it's
If
down.
nobody's going to use it, Yuska will take it because it's got Lunawin embroidery on it.
That's fair.
More as like a keepsake than anything.
It's also light, so you can sneak attack with it, but it doesn't do as much damage as like a short sword would do. I think sickles are d6.
That's how much a short sword does.
Is it? Sickles are d4. So it does d4 damage +1. But if you ever come across a enemy that is resistant to bludgeoning, slashing, piercing that's not magical, like a lot of ghosts, this would deal full damage.
Or were rats.
Exactly.
Just random
Yeah.
idea of what
Mhm.
you could use that against.
Yeah, whoever takes it, I will mark it in the attunement. That's the attunement right now.
I'm good. I'm not interested.
Just load Yuska up with all the attunement.
You scared you taking it?
I mean, I won't attune to it because it doesn't give me any.
It's gonna carry it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just Lunawin.
Sure.
It's a very blessed item.
So the night is the rest of yours. If you want to go to sleep, cool. If you want to talk as a group, cool. Let me know when you guys want to jump to the morning. We got about a half hour left, a little more.
I'm gonna go.
If they're all gonna go to bed, I'm gonna try and talk to the cyclist.
Yuska's gonna do that prayer thing. That's all he's really intending to do before bed.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucan's gonna want to ask Resmir what to do. Because he is confused.
Yuska and Luke can make religion checks. The deities are quiet.
That just means he has faith in my decisions, so it's all good.
That's true.
Confidence.
Ikanik has passed out at the bar from drinking too much wine and missed most of that conversation.
Yuska will pick her up and put her to bed.
Okay. So a couple things happen. As Yuska, you take her upstairs and lay her to bed. Yuska, you fall asleep for the night. And Yuska, as you sleep, you dream. Your mind wanders, and at first you are walking alone in the dark. You can't make out what's around you. You just walk slowly, slowly, slowly. And then you hear something to your right. You can't see it, you look. Dun dun. Bum bum. Dun dun. And you walk deeper into the darkness, and you walk and you walk. And then it's almost like a faint light far in front of you, 30 feet, 45 feet. And you start to walk towards the light as there's nothing else around you. And as you walk towards the light, the sound gets louder. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And you start to see the shape take form, and it looks like as you step towards the light, you step through the light, and as you step through the light, it is a extremely dense, dark moss-covered forest around you. High brush almost to your waist, even as an Ursus. This forest is extremely packed together, and around you there are dozens and dozens of humanoid figures, different sizes, different widths, all wearing stag helms. And their stag helms come out. Some antlers are full, some antlers are half broken. They all wear robes, and they're all looking towards this object in the center of the forest. There's a small clearing around all this obstruction, all this foliage. And as you get closer and closer, you push yourself past these, which you would assume are like acolytes with these stag helms. And as you step through, you see this large beating heart in the center of the forest. And this large heart, just, you can see it vibrates. Boom, 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 boom. And as you stare at it, all the acolytes turn with their stag helms and they look at you. And as they look at you, the heart flares this bright red. And you wake up in a cold sweat. And look around and you see Ikanik laying next to you, asleep.
That must be the source.
And that handout is in the campaign handouts under locations. If you want to see the heart of the forest. Silvia, how would you like to try to contact the sightless seer?
I'm gonna tell him that I told them who I am, and that I will kill Zilri, but I'm gonna at some point bring her to him.
So do you like do you say it out loud? Do you like speak it, or do you think it really hard, or?
I say it, but I don't like shout it. I kind of just like say it as if I was talking to people at the table.
Okay. Good. Kill Zilri, kill Giles, and you will become my champion.
I will bring Zilri to you directly in due time after we take over Novavasi.
She will upend everything. She will prevent you from ascending to the throne.
We will get rid of her, don't worry. Just not yet. We need her forces in order to take over the...
You will need her forces. Do not push away Lucan's light, for he may be the key to your exaltation.
I will keep that in mind.
A beholder? Accepting Resmir? The fuck?
Maybe it's not him.
I'm getting confused.
Look at the
man.
faces. Look at the faces. There's silence after.
Out of character V, it's like, there's something fucked up going on right now. That is not a beholder.
That
at all.
cannot be the sightless here. I'm legitimately worried now about who is who, because I've heard 3 different variations of who the sightless here are.
Yeah, really?
Just keep. I've purposely done it. Yeah, result.
My book tells me certain things, and then I get confused. This is too much.
Maybe I'm actually talking to Resmir this whole time.
Resmir does not want you to kill people. That is not happening. That cannot be Resmir. Maybe it's Harlock.
That's the only way to justice.
Maybe. Yeah, that's all I talked to him about.
All right. The 5 of you wake up the next morning to the sounds of a light rain overhead hitting the roof. The day is yours. As you all slowly awake, you can hear the loud snores of Zunar. Even though his door is closed, he is so sound asleep. But the rain stirs some of you awake. The inn is empty except for Harvin, who is walking around cleaning up the area. Ghosty once. What would you all like to do? Info overload and Lemon missed it. I knew she was gonna hate and miss this one.
She's gonna have to watch it twice.
Yeah, really. Do you guys want to do anything before we leave, or do you guys want to just like teleport with what's his face?
Well, so is he still sleeping?
Yeah, he's still asleep.
So if I would go on and pound on his door.
You're gonna pound on his door?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you walk over, pound his door. Hold on, I'm awake. I'm awake. He opens the door. He's completely naked. What?
You wake the whole inn with your noise.
I apologize. Let me put on clothes. And he slams the door.
Lucan would like to go to a blacksmith and order a lantern. Basically identical to his own lantern, but about half the size so that it would fit on an Abe's belt.
Okay. Make a persuasion check. Yeah, this is definitely a YouTube watch. Definitely subscribe to watch this one. So there's some juicy backstory bits in here. Give me 8 hours and I should be able to craft this for you. It will cost 8 silver.
I will be here in 8 hours.
And it will be done.
If I'm not here when it is finished, and it does not, and I come after a day, and I don't come after a day, bring it over to the Howling Hound and hand it over to the barkeep. He will hand it to me, and he will pay you.
I will do this for you. For an extra silver.
Consider it done.
It shall be done, my friend.
Before we leave, I would like to talk to barkeep as well as... Yeah, I want to talk to him before we leave.
Okay.
Harvin. That's the word.
You said there were human alchemists on the side here?
You say a human alchemist?
Well, in the shop area or whatever, the human side.
Do you want to try and sell the wild magic potions?
I want to go up there and talk at least.
Roll a... Roll a d20. Well, I'm assuming you're kind of asking Harvin. He says, honestly, if you want to speak to the best alchemist in town, you will head to the Theater Infernalis. An alchemist runs the shop there, and he is human. Although he is quite eccentric, but he is a purveyor of alchemy and strange things.
So head to the theater.
Yeah, that's probably your best bet. Most of the alchemists and healers in this area are sanguis.
She just said he was human.
Yeah, he is the only one outside of the sanguis in this area. There is a shaman in the mountains a little ways off, a couple-day journey, who may also buy it, an orc. But I cannot remember his name, but if you look for the smoke signals in the air under the Raven Roost, you will find him, but he may also wish to buy it from you. Claims he is buried on the earth, or the elemental plane of earth, which we know is false.
I'll wander over to the theater district then. There's a theater there.
Okay. So before you guys leave, Silas is going to the theater. Lucan's talking to the innkeep. Is there anything else that Silvia or Yuska wants to do before?
Nope. I'm just gonna wait for everybody to come back so we can go to the place with Zunar.
Okay.
I mean, Yuska's going to ritually cast detect magic in his room when he hears our Xanar leave his. I just want to see like how decked what he could potentially be carrying on him, being untrustworthy or untrusting.
Okay. Let's see here. So he has his room is empty, but on his person, his robe is magical. He carries a wand under his robe that is very well concealed, that is magical. And he carries one of his many necklaces is also magical.
All right. As soon as I give him a good looky-loo, I'll drop detect magic.
Okay. Would you cast it in his room while he's there, or would you cast it at the bar when he's around everyone?
I would cast it in my room where I was sleeping, and as soon as I would hear him walk out, I'll ritually cast it and go down and then give him the look over. Just so he doesn't see that I'm doing that.
Lucan's book is magical.
Okay.
Although he doesn't know it. So, Lucan, you head to the bar, you talk to Harvin.
I just wanted to let him know that that lantern will probably be heading to him because Debt will be here in 8 days. And then I also wanted to ask how he is doing with his brother's death and Baron's death, and if he is doing any better, and if he needs help.
It is a tough thing. I have pulled back a bit from what I once did to help what we thought was a rebellion, but whenever this time of year or this time of the season comes up, when we know a tax is coming, we all tend to withdraw, try to hide.
That is understandable. I know the Nevermore Expanse and the people within them aren't too religious, or at least if they are, they don't show it. But I do hope that my hymns helped you at least a little bit. Ease your pains, perhaps? If not, it's okay to say so.
I hope to one day see the Winged Lion himself rush through the town and kill all those who took my friends from me.
If Rezimir believes that is the best way to protect his people, then that is what he will do. Hopefully it won't be as gory as that, though.
Whatever frees us. Until then, I am in a place where I think the noble know that my life is worth more than others, for I can drown their sorrows, keep them in line with alcohol.
Well, hopefully that means you won't be picked.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that I won't, but if I would ever be picked, myself and my friend here would head to the mountains and evade the butcher.
If that happens and you need help, let me know if I'm nearby.
I greatly appreciate that.
Your life has seen enough disaster. Let's not make another one.
He nods and you see a small little tear run down his cheek.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna give him a gold coin, both as thank you for picking up this lantern, and also as a sorry your life sucks.
Alright. So you're going to the theater. Oop, there we go.
What the fuck was that? That scares me.
That
I didn't get to see what it was, but it was huge.
was Lishkin's Folly Fort. So Silas, you enter the Theater Infernalis. The facade of the Theater Infernalis is constructed with heavy plaster and wires that depicts a hellish landscape where small little imps torture humanoid characters next to a lake of fire and brimstone. A faint smell of sulfurous fumes can be detected coming among the entrance as you enter. The front doors are strangely constructed to resemble a demonic face whose toothy maw frames enter into two massive doors that swing open to reveal a lobby in front of you. The lobby is decorated in heavy plasters that make it appear as if patrons have stepped into a giant spring or a giant infernal cave, and flames dance from the burning crucibles that flare up unexpectedly, and demons pop out to scare people that walk in the doors, like jump scares. It looks like you've stepped into like a circus. The rear of this spacious establishment is dimly lit, yet busy, and there are nearby display cases stuffed with all manners of hellish items. Strangely dressed employees tend a ticket stand below a wide stair that leads up to a looming balcony. The ticket stand is up over here. There's a bar. And all the people inside the establishment, they wear these overly eccentric, demonic-looking costumes with horns and red cloaks and demonic furs. You're like in a very extravagant, almost like Halloween scare bar. You see people start to ascend the steps over here, a group of them, and as they go up towards the back of the room, kind of blocked by concealment, you can hear people screaming and like laughter, like when you're in a haunted house and you hear people go ah, they like laugh after they scream. You can hear them screaming in the background.
So, Sad, walk up to the bar and ask for whomever I'm looking for.
So you're looking for the alchemist?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you walk up to the bar, the man next to you that's named Luther is going to approach you. He's a tall, flamboyant host. He has a wickedly pointed goatee and extravagant robes, and he wears a demonic hood. As you get in, he bows and he bellows, "Welcome, saints, no sinners, to the Theater Infernalis. How can I help you, friend?"
I'm looking for your alchemist.
Oh, that would be me. What can I do for you? Demonic concoction? Something to make you a little bit harder under the covers?
Not quite.
Well, do tell. How can I help you? Do you wish to peruse the theater and step into hell itself?
I've been there, done that.
Well, please do tell. What can I do to make your stay at the theater perfect?
Tell me about these two things. I'll pull up the wild magic and the blue-green.
The potions?
Yeah.
Do you want to sell me these potions?
Possibly.
He takes one of the vials for you and he holds it up. How many do you have?
That's of no consequence.
How many do you wish to sell to me?
It depends on the price.
Shellman, can we use these potions? And he calls Shellman over. Shellman leaves behind the ticket booth. And he's in a heavily collared ceremonial robe. It's almost comical with how high the collar rests above his shoulders. And he walks up and he looks at it. 25 gold?
Well, I don't know if that price is enough.
Make a persuasion. What would you prefer?
Well, something better than that.
$26 gold.
I believe I will hold on to that price.
For 1 gold piece, you can step into hell itself and see what the below looks like. And he points to the stairs in the ticket booth. Over here.
Oh, Lemon's gonna be so pissed.
Or you could at least tell your friends to come and as a group step into the below. And then have a drink afterwards.
Well, so Shellman moved back already?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say it. Look into my eyes and see if I know what the below looks like.
He does. He kind of looks at you. Luther does. But you have not seen my recreation of the below. And you notice in the walls behind you, there's display cases that hold demonic items. And there's these large, almost like railroad nails, have been hit into the walls, and they have this demonic scripture. Can you read Infernal?
No, I do not have.
They're like 6 to 8 inches long, and they're jammed into different points in that back wall, this back wooden wall, and they have Infernal written on all the on these large nails, and they are pulsing bright red.
Dang you, Abyssal.
Well, you're welcome to have a drink at the bar, and if you choose to sell me your potions for... What did you say, Chelman? 25 gold. 25 gold? Then, by all means, we will buy as many as you have off you.
What about this other one?
Takes the other one. This is the blue screen one?
Yeah.
I think that the price remains the same for each.
I think for that price, I will.
And he hands it back to you. As he does, you hear, this wall on the northern wall, it opens up, and this like spring-loaded thing ejects 5 Sanguis people into the hallway. Like shoots them out, and behind him you see this fire erupt behind them, and they all fall out, and they're laughing, and they approach the bar, and they start to order drinks.
I'll wander up to Shaman since he seems to be the one in charge. And what kind of fun do you offer here? People that do not. That don't believe in the ways of gods.
You may believe once you pass through our theater and see what we offer upstairs. It is a ride beyond rides. Just know that once the year ends, we are closed for business. We will take our magical nails with us. And you would know year end is in 4 months.
Okay.
It is one goal to ride.
I don't think I really have any business here anymore, so.
Really hope to see you again. And as he says that, another door, the wall opens again, and people are ejected out of this room, and they're laughing. And they also approach the bar and start to order drinks. And you see the flames erupt from the wall and come back in.
Yep.
Silas eventually returns to the Howling Hound, meeting the other 4 of you. Zunar is sitting at the table, eating some breakfast from a bowl, and with a mouthful of porridge. Whenever you're ready, please, just tell me when you're ready to go.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Sorry, I'm ready if you guys are.
I would say Yuska and Eek are ready.
Let's just go along.
Zunar steps up from his porridge, pushes it to the side, gives a nod to Harvin, starts to wave his hands. As he does, this blue runic inscription appears on the ground in front of him, and then it pulls up out of the ceiling like a bright light that just shoots up. You may step inside and enter Lishkin's folly. Granddaughter of von Lishkin.
That information is not to be used lightly.
He bows.
But I am ready.
I'll see you all on the other side, and I'll walk through.
You all step into Lishkin's Folly Fort. Here's a quick glimpse at what you see.
Hey Tyler, you remember that thing in the middle there?
Ooh.
And as you guys step out of Lishkin's Folly Fort, that's where we end tonight's game.
It's a good thing we didn't try and raid this place.
That thing alone would have been fun.
So next game, next Monday, I'll give you guys a description of what you see, and then we'll take it from there. That is Harlock for this evening. A lot of backstory details. It's fun. We're back on Thursday at 7 o'clock with some DM prep. And then Saturday is the Dying Embers episode 4. And then a week from Saturday is a new campaign, Pirate's Life for Me, where the group is pirates, which is going to be interesting. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for those donations and those gifted subs. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you like what you see, follow or hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on Thursday. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
See ya. Granddaughter of von Lishkin.
Yep. That's me.
Blah, blah, blah. I didn't know.
That was definitely a session.
That was a session in